Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome back to another exciting race out here at Talladega Super Speedway. Guys in the booth, it's Luke. I'm joined alongside Kevin. Kevin, how are you doing this evening?
Man, I'm excited for this one. We got a nice long race here at Talladega, and it is going to be a fun one. I'm super excited.
Hey, I am as well, Kevin. It's going to be a long race out here tonight, folks. It's going to be a 75-lap race out here at Talladega Super Speedway. Kevin, you'll have to remind me here. I do not remember if we're going to have any fast repairs or anything like that out here tonight. You'll have to refresh me on that. But I know I'm excited out here, Kevin. But I
Yeah, I'm
believe
super
it's about that
excited
time
too.
you take away that grid, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and getting the pole with a great time is going to be Stephen Halligan. And alongside him on that front row is going to be Jacob Thornton. And then the second row is going to consist of Stelian Tarlev and Will Gibson. Third row is going to be James Vining and Tanner Coster. Fourth row is going to be Jake McDowell and Ronan Suarez. Fifth row is going to be Tim Collier and Dalton Carter. Sixth row is going to be Cameron Craighead and Steve Bartlett. Seventh row, Drew Lidke and Tyler Brewer, the Canadians. Look out for them. Then we're going to have Josh Gagnon and Caden Griffith. Then we're going to see Chris Dias and Brian Fackler. Then we're going to have Jason Clark and Mike Gibson. Then we're going to have the janitor, Pitzenbarger, alongside Dakota Sullivan. Then we're going to see Nico Cipollini and Anthony James. Richard Jackson, Mark Person, Andrew Griesbaum, Spencer Leaf, and rounding it out is going to be Dillard Scruggs. Not to be mistaken for Buster Scruggs.
Another great movie out there, Kevin.
And we got a super exciting lobby, and we got three Canadians here. It's an American dominant lineup, but three Canadians. I wonder if they've been paying attention to this hockey game, Luke.
Hey, you got to wonder, Kevin. I know I have going into this race. I've been eyeing up that hockey game all evening. It's an exciting one over there. I just hope we see even a fraction of that of that action reciprocated over here at Talladega tonight.
Yeah, and I hope so too, as they are approaching overtime on that event. But we are approaching the front end of a lot of racing, and what do you think the strategy is going to have to be here? Get yourself in the front, Luke.
Hey, it's tough to say as we go and take a look at our track conditions out here. It's going to be a little bit of an overcast out here today with a 91 precipitation percentage and a 74-degree track temperature and 15 mile per hour winds out there. It's going to be a tough one out there. These drivers are going to have to hang on and really hold tight into these turns and stuff to keep that wheel straight. But it's going to be a tough one out here. I think it's going to be a lot of staying with the draft here. It's a big track. There's going to be a lot of trucks out here going wide, and it's just a reminder to all the viewers out there. This is not the next gen trucks. This is the older gen Cup Series trucks. But never mind that. We are beginning to go green out here as we get ready to cross that Geico restart.
Yeah, and it's going to be Halligan's command, as we are all too familiar with the late restart here at Talladega. They are side by side. They are ready. They're anxious to get this one underway. We are green here at Talladega Motor Speedway, or Super Speedway. And we're side by side through. It's going to be Halligan and Thornton in the lead. Thornton on the outside, Halligan on the inside. Gibson and Tarlev are to follow. It's 2 by 2 all the way to the back. And Scruggs might be on race control tonight, as he is registered as out. So it is going to be a 28 car field, all the way from Stephen Halligan to Spencer Leaf. They're still 2 by 2. How about that push on the inside? They're getting it working down the backstretch. Usually we see them dominant in the turns, but they're getting it going. They're going to be clear by about a car into this turn, maybe two. That's going to be Halligan out in the lead. His line to choose. Tarlev follows. Vining follows. Then on the outside, we're going to have Thornton. McDowell makes a pass. He's on the inside. This inside really making it work. They're mixed up a little bit, but the outside line sorts it back together, and they're going to be looking for some speed as we are one lap down. 74 to go here at Talladega.
And we're in for a long one, Kevin. A lot of racing going to be going on out here tonight. And personally, my favorite track of all of the super speedways, of course. I don't know about you, but there's a couple movies out there, obviously, that make me a little more lenient towards this track. But, definitely my favorite.
Yeah, and it's probably my favorite too. It's either that or Daytona, just two of the monsters of the racing world, not only in super speedways, but in just pure speed in any tracks around the world. Just 2.5 miles plus, and it is quick, Luke, as they get around there in about 50 seconds in these trucks.
And it seems some trouble back there for Nico Cipollone. Having some troubles back there. He seemed to have went off the track back there. Not too sure what happened back there. We'll go and take a look back. Says he got off the track there. And, oh, bad bump there for the number 77 by, I believe, the number 6 that was. It's going to be Spencer Leaf as we cut back live here. He's in that Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah, and he takes a ride through the grass. Unfortunate for him, but keeps it off the wall. No damage. Super early in this one, and it's just going to be the matter of, trying to stay on that lead lap at this point. But, they seem to have some draft back there. Got a little thing going, so we'll see what happens as we are back with our leaders. And how about that inside line, Luke? They're about clear by 4, maybe 5, and they're just making it work.
Yeah, they're getting a good run here. That outside line is going to really have to shape things up here if they're wanting to contest with that inside line.
Yeah, and I've got to agree, Luke, but how about Halligan? He's been dominant through and through in this one. He started on the pole, and I think he's led every single lap.
Hey, yeah, that he has. He's putting on a show here early. Really putting on a display of dominance here early on in this race, that's for sure. And oh, we got a couple cars on the inside there.
Yeah, off their line a little bit, trying to get back up, doing it as safely as possible.
And yeah, they're going to get up just fine. They're just going to have to drop back to that back of the line. Not too sure how that one got caused there, but important thing is they kept it clean there, and we're still green, so we're going to truck right on through this one. How about Will Gibson taking his first lead of the night out here?
Yeah, and he's been making it work all the way from, well, not all the way, but from P4. He was able to get on the inside line with found speed, and he has made his way around Halligan as the outside line's picking it up. Coaster in the lead now. Something to pay attention to for sure.
And yeah, how about those leaders? Keeping it tight up there. They're just trying to get that guy in front of them, just push him a little bit further. Try to get your line just a little bit further. But it seems like that outside line is going to kind of get a bit of momentum out there, it seems.
Yeah, and that they are. They're about side by side, 5 laps to get, or 5 laps through this one, and it's really interesting to see this inside line just making it work all the way through. The outside seems to be fading off again a little bit.
That U.S. Post Office car, he's going to make a third line, and we're going to see, seems 4 line. Nah, he's going to slide back down.
Just slide back in and just barely fit, and that's the smart move this early in the race, in my opinion.
Yeah, with a 75 lap race, you got a long way to go. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, it's just better just to keep it safe, keep it smooth, and not test things too early out here. Keep your truck safe.
Yeah, I've got to agree, but we have about, I want to say 24, 25 cars on this lead pack still, so only about 2 or 3 cars have faded off, Luke. Something you really want to see here early is just keeping yourself in that pack, because, once you lose that pack, nothing good can come from it.
And that is true, but yeah, you see back there in that back pack, it's gonna be that Spencer Leaf pack with Nico Cipollone. They had some contact earlier, I know that. They're currently back in P26, 27, and I believe 28 back there for the number 40. And they're just, at this point, just trying to stay on the lead lap here. They're not going to be able to catch up to those leaders at that race, but, they're just looking to stay on that lead lap here and maybe hope for a caution or maybe a good pit strategy to get them caught back up with the leaders.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I mean, just unfortunate, but still have to maintain. Lots can happen. We are making the turns through 3 and 4. Gibson's currently your leader. Coaster's on his outside. And, Coaster's not on his outside. And we're going to go on board with Stephen Halligan, your pole sitter for tonight. Currently running P3. He's pushing that inside line led by Gibson. Let's take a look at how fast these trucks can go.
Good Lord, Kevin. Almost 190 miles an hour here on that front straightaway. These things are fast. Even though they are not the next gen, they are still fast.
Oh, and they are absolutely singing too. We can hear them all the way from up here.
Yeah, that we can, Kevin. Yeah, it looks like Stephen Halligan is making that outside line work. He's going to be up in the front charge of that pack.
Yeah, and how about Darlev in the post office car? Getting it done, staying on that inside line. Now running second and giving pushes to your leader right now, which is the 27 of Gibson.
Yeah, how about it, Kevin? A lot of nice trucks out here tonight. There's some pretty schemes out here. I feel like it's a little too early to make any calls just yet. I still got to see quite a few of them out here. But I'm seeing some colorful ones out here. I know we'll have a couple nice ones picked out for the viewers out here, and hopefully the next handful of laps out here.
Yeah, and so far just all out in the post office car for me. I just think that's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, me as well, Kevin. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I know we saw him peeking at a third line there for a while a couple laps ago. I think they were just kind of testing it out early, just kind of seeing what worked, see how it felt, but it seems as though now we're going to be kind of dropping back to this two-file wide racing for a while. Early on in this race, I personally don't mind it. And just as I say that, things are going to start to shift up as we are 3 wide up in the front pack.
Yeah, they're shaky on that top line. It's going to be pushed by the 48 of Craighead, but I think they could get some speed here. That middle line's just going to fade, and it's going to strand 2 or 3 cars. So not what you want to see if you're them, but
yeah, he's just going to drop
yeah,
down
they're
low.
not fall back into the inside though. They'll be all right.
Yeah, they're going to regain there, but Talladega, it is a track for multiple lines out here. It can get very scary very fast, with the possibility of up to 4 lines out here in these straightaways.
Yeah, and a couple stragglers just sitting up on that top line, maybe trying to gain a couple spots off some side draft, but all in all, pretty steady double file racing through this one as we are officially 10 laps done with it.
You know, these guys are getting it done out here. They are moving out here at Talladega.
Yeah, and that they are. But that third line's looking to maybe open up a little bit with the 2-car of Gibson. The other Gibson. Let me take a look at that, see what we're dealing with. We got Will Gibson, and we also have Mike Gibson. 2 cars Mike.
A lot of names out here, a lot of faces. Not seeing too many that we usually race with, but I know a couple of them from the previous broadcast we had back there. I believe that was the Champion League, if I'm not mistaken, Kevin. There's a couple familiar faces out there, but still getting to know a lot of these new names and a lot of new faces. I know I'm pretty excited to get used to the style of these drivers. It's definitely very interesting to see how these trucks behave out here on Talladega.
Yeah, and I've got to agree. Halligan makes his way back to the front. He's going to be running that outside line. Craig shuffles back down low. He's going to be in second, or now third. How about that outside line finally getting it to work a little bit?
Yeah, they're getting it together. They're finally making things work here, and you love to see that outside line finally starting to get some momentum here and get things running. But as soon as I say that inside line digging strong and keeping things going, that number 48, Cameron Craighead, he's going to be making his way up there, and he's going to take charge early. And I think he's going to slide to that outside line. And he's going to do it a little late, and he's going to fall into that middle pack now. But nope, he's going to shuffle up to that outside line. Yeah, they had to fade off there for a little while, but getting reorganized here, grounding turn number 2. And we got a truck dipping below the apron there, but it's all right. He's going to hold things straight. They're starting to fan out here, and how about it? There's that third line. It's starting to form.
Yeah, they've been trying on it, Luke, but so far this inside and second line seem to be the dominant ones because they kind of seem to be.
It's number 19.
Oh, we're wrecking hard. Oh, and that's
my!
Correct.
It's Steve Bartlett, what is it, Bartlett? Steve Bartlett. Oh no, and there's a lot of trucks involved.
Huge one. That is a huge wreck.
And holy shit. The big one at Talladega happens on lap 14.
It has begun here at Talladega.
And yeah, we're gonna have to take a look back at that one. That was a huge wreck. we're going to look here. This is going to be the, we're going to go and hop to the blimp view here, and this is going to be the overhead of this one, and it's going to be James Vinning, I believe, that crashes first out here. But I do know that Steve Bartlett was the one that got turned sideways, and yep, look right up there. You can see him just hanging up on that very high line. It looks like he thinks, I think he might, I think I can already kind of draw this one up here. I think he thinks he's clear on that second line, but as you can clearly see, he just isn't. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at what happened there, and he just comes down, and yep, leads to one truck sideways, and two, then 3, 4, 5, and it just collects everybody out here.
And out perfectly that these drivers just had nowhere to go. Oh, and they're still collecting.
And yeah, we'll get another view, and oh, look at that. That is a lot of trucks. And yeah, it's just going to collect trucks all the way through. Oh, yep, and they're going to keep wrecking on down there. Look at that. How about the janitor, Pitzenbarger? See where he fares on his way through this one, and look at all of the trucks he has to avoid here. And actually, it seems as though he gets... Oh... I was gonna say gets through pretty clean, but,
yeah.
Seems I spoke a little too soon here, but that's going to involve a lot of trucks. That's going to involve many, and we're going to see, I believe, as we jump live back here, we're gonna see a good majority of the field pitting here. And yeah, we're gonna see a good vast majority of the field pitting here. And there's no surprise after that big one on lap 14 at Talladega.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure what the situations are for repairs and fast repairs and stuff like that. So it's something we're gonna have to keep updated on, but I'm gonna assume coming out of these pits, a lot of these guys are gonna have damage.
And yeah, no doubt. And I do not remember. Do we have any fast repairs in this one? Do you remember?
Yeah, as I was just saying, I really don't know.
Yeah. Let's see if we can maybe get a little information here on the info tab. No fast repairs, and boy, that is going to make things interesting for these drivers out here tonight. If you got a lot of damage there, do you maybe sit down, take the long repair, and leave the pits late, or do you maybe take half the repair and just kind of tough it out and see what you can do? I mean, it's a long race. It's going to be interesting to see what these drivers come up with here to keep themselves in contention here late on into this race.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure what the strategy would be as far as taking the repairs. I think a lot of these drivers are just going to rip the Band-Aid off and try to get it out of the way right now.
Yeah, we're going to pace around here another time at Talladega as we pay attention to that track map up there. You can see a lot of trucks still in the pits here. Boy, oh boy, we are in for a long one out here, Kevin. And I know, like I said, time after time again, Talladega, personally, one of my favorite tracks, personally. I mean, just the speed that these vehicles can get up to on this track with this much, with this much room and as many lines as they can create out here, it really does lead to a very crazy environment when things start getting testy here late on into this race.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I mean, we're only 15 laps into this one, Luke, and we've already seen, what, a third of the field be involved in a wreck?
I don't even know if I would say a third. I think about half the field was involved with that one. That happened up front and collected most of the pack behind him.
Yeah, unfortunate for those guys.
Yeah, I think most of these trucks that got into the wreck are just looking to regather here, just get things in order, get your truck running again, just reset, refocus, and hopefully try to weather the storm of whatever damage you got and stay up in that front pack and get in contention here for to get into that money spot.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is a money race or if this is a league race. I want to say it's just a league race.
Well, in that case, the point spots.
Yeah. And, that is something to keep in the back of your head all the way through because,
I do wonder, if I try to show this, would it show us our points here? No, if I show points... Nope, that's not going to show our points, unfortunately, I don't think. Maybe. Wait. No, it's not going to show us our points. Unfortunate, but either way. Just getting up into those point spots here, you know, just regathering yourself and just trying to get yourself into one of those nice point spots. But the pace car is in.
Pace car's in. It's going to be the Command Brewer.
And he's representing for Canada, and I hate to say it personally, but Team Canada has won the... they've won the championship. But we are green at Talladega, and it's Tyler Brewer leading us off here, and what a takeoff by Tyler Brewer. And I am just beyond pissed that Canada just won that game. I cannot lie to you, Kevin. Damn it.
Fuck that sport.
But, needless to say, we are hoping to see some more excitement out here at Talladega. As upset as we may be at the USA Team Canada game. Yeah, they're going to be back to that two-wide race and back again.
It's really unfortunate to see, you know, USA to lose to our 51st state. Just not what you expected out of those guys, but
hey, you know, with our whole first line and a half missing, you know, still put on a damn good show, taking them late into overtime.
That they did, and we have about 18 cars on the lead lap here. Lap 18 as well, sorry, and you know, it's exciting to see what these guys are going to do. We have about 6 of them, 1 lap down, I think, and then 1-2 laps down, and then the rest are out of this race. So, you know, a lot going on here. That really shortened the field, Luke, that wreck we saw, and I think it's going to change the strategy of a lot of these guys.
Hey, that it is. That it will. As we go and take a look back here at our battle for 15th, a lot of trucks kind of straggling off of that main group here. Among them is going to be Stephen Halligan. Unfortunate, but they're all going to be up in that backpack. I think what they're looking to do is maybe gather themselves, all get into a good line, and they're not too far off the leaders. I think they're only about 3 or 4 seconds collectively, so I think they're just looking to get things together and try to catch back up to our leaders. Speaking of our leaders, it's going to be Will Gibson taking the lead here on that inside line as they round turn 1.
Yeah, and we're side by side with Brewer and Gibson out front. How about Suarez and Tarlev in the second line, though? They've been making it work. Leaf, who started in P28 now in the top 6, he's running good. He got around that wreck, I think.
And one thing I do want to point out there, Kevin, I know we saw it earlier in this race. We took a look back at it. Look who's up there in those top positions. Nico Cipollone. I know him and, I believe, what was it, Spencer Leaf in that Pepto-Bismol truck. He gave him a nasty bump. I don't know if we're going to see anything later on into this race, maybe a little bit of retaliation, but just something to keep your eye out for as they are very close together. That's going to be the number 77 and number 6.
Is that, what is it? Cipollone and Leaf?
Yep.
Right, perfect. And how about Tarlev making his way to the front for the second time tonight?
Yeah, the U.S. Post Office getting it done. They are fast. I know they're at least usually very fast whenever I order anything through them.
Well,
we never said we were honest with our promotions here. Needless to say, that U.S. Post Office Toyota is moving up here in the front. Speaking of the front, let's go and take a look at the top 20 car brand out here. And, oh, they're wrecking! It's the number 78. It's going to be Andrew Grisbaum. Oh! He's going to collect with the number 3 there. He's going to get a bit of contact, but
Dalton Carter.
We're going to see the second caution out here tonight. And, oh, no. Not what you want to see. Andrew Grisbaum. Let's go ahead and take a look back here at what happened with that one. And it looks like... Oh!
He almost goes over.
Little on his side, but holds it together. And, I mean, all things considered, the damage doesn't look terrible. I mean, all things considered, he hit the wall pretty soft for, as hard as it could be. The only thing I'd be really concerned about is going to be that contact he had with that other card. We'll go ahead and get maybe another a further away view here of this one. We'll go ahead and take a look here. As it looks like the number 12 just tries to make that. It looks like, I think the number 12 tried to make a third line there for a second. We'll go back just a little bit. Looks like that number 12 tried to make a third line there for a second, and then decided to cut back down to that inside line. And just an unfortunate turn of events for the number 78 of Andrew Dreisbaum. Not what you like to see here. But I think overall the damage was minimal. I think he'll be able to hold on to it. Most of the vehicles that were involved with that kept it together. I think they're going to be all right, and they'll sort things out. But still, very unfortunate for the number 78 of Andrew Dreisbaum. And yeah, no surprise here. We're going to see pits. And it's going to be a good number here. It's going to be a decent bit of that front pack. Yeah, no surprise here. The surplus of pits come after not a bad wreck. I just think most of these guys are really looking for fuel at this point, Lap 22 into a 75-lap race. I think they're just looking to keep the fuel topped off, just keep things running. Stay in that main group now that they're going to be forced to rebunch.
Yeah, and, we're going to be about, 23, 24 to go, 24, 25 to go this time by. I think a lot of strategy starts to come into play here, Luke. We've seen a lot of the same guys up front, but right now we're only seeing, 12 guys out there on the track right now. I guess a few more are going to come out, but I think it's going to sort out to be like 15 guys. So, how do you manage driving a smaller field, but still a lot of the lap guys going to be out there with you, trying to get around them?
It definitely makes things interesting here when some of the guys... It's really all going to come down to how are the lap cars going to behave. I know some of these guys like to hang down low and just stay low for these guys when they pass, and I know a lot of the guys like to go up high when they pass. It's all just going to come down to where those lap cars decide to go and how the guys on the lead lap can respond to that. As long as they can pass cleanly, I don't think we're going to see any issues. With Talladega being so wide, they should be able to get up to that third line and just stay clear, but... Then again, it is Talladega. Anything can happen, as we have seen thus far, but, only time will tell out here. And I don't think we're going green this time by, are we? No, we're going to pace around again. But boy, yeah, we are in for a long one out here. Not as long as some of the other broadcasts we've had previously, but needless to say, we're in for a decent long haul out here. But
yeah, and it's going to be a fun one. We have so much racing left. We're not even a third of the way through, and, look, we've seen so many different lead changes and so many different incidents to shake things up. So I'm super excited about this one.
Hey, I am as well, Kevin. Like you said, a lot of big names going forward here that we recognize, but then again, a couple of them that we don't. Anthony M. James, that's one that I don't recognize personally up here. What is that? Jake McDowell, Cameron Craighead, they're all going to be running up well within your top 15. But a decent, a decent grid out here in terms of licensing out here. We'll go ahead and take a quick look at some of our top drivers. It's definitely diverse within our top 5 or our top 7 for our battle for first. Couple 3 A class drivers, a couple Ds, 1 C and a B. So it's definitely very spread out here for your battle for first. But as we shift on back, you can see it just starts to stack up into that A class, A, C, mostly A class, couple B class. It's a very, very strong class out here for clean driving. So definitely what you like to see out here in a longer race. I think these first couple cautions are just a couple hiccups here. I think these guys are going to straighten things out as we move forward.
Yeah, and you can only hope so, Luke. We've seen 2 cautions so far. both of them have been super big incidents for a lot of these guys. Who do you think, who are you looking at to win this one?
You know, it really is tough for me to say, Kevin, with it still being early on in this race. I mean, we're only going to be going green here on lap 24, but personally, I'm looking at that number 56, that postal car. It's going to be Tarlev for me, but that's just me. But it's going to be the command of, I believe, Will Gibson here as we get ready to go green on lap 24 at Talladega.
And don't sleep on teammates Lidke and Collier. They're running the Can-Am team. They're running 5 and 6 right now, so that's another thing to pay attention to. As we enter this late restart zone, it's going to be the command of Gibson. And here we go. Green, green, green. We are underway once again at Talladega in the trucks. Huge jump for Gibson. The 77 follows, and that outside line just lacking back off the start, but they will catch up. There's no doubt about it. And Sullivan's going to drop down to the bottom. Barely gets in there in front of Lidke. And Tarlev kind of making it work on that second line, but he's going to drop in. Oh, but no, he's not. He's going to start pushing Cipollini, and they're going to make it to the top in a hurry. I mean,
and look at that third line, or that second line. Yeah. They're moving. And now they're going to hop up to the front.
Yeah, and that they are, and they've kind of sorted it out. It looks like we're seeing more single-file racing than we've seen at any other points of this race, but still plenty of time left. Anything can happen.
Yeah, but needless to say, like I was commenting on earlier, the safety rating of a lot of these drivers, I think it's going to be pretty clean here for the most part. Like I said, I think those first couple cautions were mainly just hiccups, just feeling things out, getting a feel for how the track's going to go out here and what the lines are going to feel like and how they're going to run out here later on into this race.
Yeah, and we're officially a third of the way through this one as we are now on to lap 26. And we are led by Cipollini, and Tarlev follows Lidke, Dias, Leaf, Sullivan, Gibson, Brewer, Collier, and James. It's going to be your top 10 as of right now.
And over the wrecking, it's going to be the front. It's going to be 77. Nico Cipollini.
Sideways.
And oh man.
He's hard into it.
Oh boy. And what a hard wreck for Nico Cipollini. We're going to go ahead and jump back here, and he's just... Oh, that truck is not looking good. Look at those front tires. They are bent out of shape. I think he might have to take a tow here. That's an unfortunate one for him. Yeah, not what you like to see for one of your front runners, and for Nico Cipollini. We'll go ahead and take a look back here, and he was your front runner. Let's go and take a look at what happened up there. Line's going good, but it looks like he just kind of gets pushed sideways, and oh boy, almost goes up.
For the 21, but he gets around.
Yeah, he almost gets airborne there for a minute. We'll go and look at maybe a wider view back here again.
I want to take an onboard with, obviously take your time. I want to see an onboard of Lidke, because I don't know if he was just, minding his own in third position, or if he kind of bumped the 56 of Tarlev into the leader. I kind of want to go back and maybe take a look at the onboard of him and see what happened there.
And
because it seemed like
we'll take a look.
The 56 got into that 77 hard, and I'm not quite sure why. Yeah, and he definitely doesn't.
Oh.
It just seems like one of those things where it's kind of a weird angle. Good save by him, though.
And that's just unfortunate. Maybe we'll hop on the onboard of the 56 of Tarlev. Maybe we'll take a look at what it looked like from his point of view. And just an unfortunate corner bump, and yeah, I think that was just a racing incident really there. It's just an unfortunate bump. I mean, I don't really think that's anybody's... I don't think we can really point the finger at anybody on that one. I think that was just a pure racing incident. I think it just, one guy got into the other guy just on accident, just a little bit, just an unfortunate bump there, a little off center, and very, very unfortunate for those drivers involved.
Yeah, that's going to be a big hit for the 56. I don't know if he's going to be out of this race or not. Did he get it fired back up?
And as of right now, he is still in the pits right now, so I guess we are yet to see here, but actually a majority of the field is in the pit here at the moment, so I think most of these guys are just trying to stay up to date on their fuel, you know? Keep that fuel window as nice as you can.
Yeah, a little bit of strategy in the last race we saw with a couple of these guys with lid key running it to the end on fuel. Not quite sure if there's much strategy to be played out here tonight, but only time will tell. As far as fuel goes, obviously.
Of course. And I'll tell you what, Kevin, it is not fun. I am personally getting a lot of shit from some of my old hockey teammates that are Canadian. They are giving me quite the shit for the turn of events there that happened for, you know, the old USA.
Yeah, well, you know, look, at the end of the day, hockey isn't everything, and those Canadians still have to deal with 25% tariffs.
And that you are correct, Kevin. But we're going to be pacing around here, and I believe we're going to be going green upon lap 30, if I'm not mistaken.
But no, it's all in good fun. I know next year we have a Winter Olympics coming up, and it's, I don't know.
Where are they doing the next
Maybe
one?
Italy. That's what I'm trying to remember. It was.
Wasn't it supposed to be Beijing at one point?
I don't know. They flip it around. But anyways, what I'm trying to get at is 2026. I know there's a Winter Olympics, so we'll get our get back.
And we can only hope. But you know, I believe we're approaching that, you know, good quarter length way through the race here so far. We got a long way to go, but at the same time, we've already got a good chunk of the race driven out here. How you feeling so far with the overall performance of some of these drivers?
Yeah, and you know, I think these drivers are doing a great job. I think it's a lot of strategy at this point, a lot of just avoiding wrecks, right place, right time, a lot of getting lucky even. But you know, we're back to about 15, 16 of these guys on the lead lap. So I think there's a lot of these guys still in contention for some good points here, and it's just something you got to pay attention to.
And no doubt. As we round corner number 4, we're going to be getting ready to go green here after our third caution of the night here at Talladega. It is going to be lap 30. And our pace car is going to be going in here, and I am sorry, that was turn number 2 they were rounding. They're going to be cruising down that back straightaway for a while, and it's like the rest of those trucks still trying to catch up here as we go and look at our map. And yep, they're going to be catching up here late after those pit exits. Looks like most of our trucks are going to stay on the lead lap here. Looks like we're going to see maybe the split. Yeah, we're going to see how many is that? 2, 4, 6, 7 trucks out. Unfortunately, no, sorry, 6. I forgot Scruggs is the race official, I believe, tonight, but still a lot of trucks here on the lead lap. We're going to see 16 trucks here on the lead lap. It's going to be an interesting battle here. But so far, so good. We've seen a couple unfortunate turn of events there for some drivers, but it is going to be the command of Chris Dyes here as the pace car is in at Talladega. We're going to be going green for the 4th time tonight after that one. I'm receiving word here maybe that Mike Persons is having some issues, but they're going to be going green here. Needless to say, and a little bit of an accordion effect there on that inside line as they are getting things rolling here. We are green out at Talladega on lap 30. And Round they go, entering that back straightaway. The outside line seems to have a little bit of trouble here, and it's like most of those trucks that started on that outside line are going to kind of fade into that inside line now, opting to take the better running line here. As soon as I say that, they're going to make a run, but a third line possibly looming there. The number 12 is going to make it happen. That's going to be Jake McDowell, but as soon as I say that, he's going to unfortunately start to fade off here with not much support. Looking to slide in there, but that gap's not going to be available for him. It's looking a little shaky back there for him, but they're gonna file back in line, and it's going to be about 2 wide back there. And you know, not too far along into this race, like I always say earlier, I think most of these guys are just looking to conserve their trucks out here after the couple cautions we've had to stay up to date on fuel. But mainly it's going to be the concern of those drivers that were involved in those earlier wrecks. I know it's going to be definitely a question of will they be able to fight their way back up, and are they going to be able to claw and get a little closer back into those lead positions here. But a lot of those vehicles involved early in those wrecks, unfortunately, falling laps down. Kipoloni and Tarlev are going to be two among those drivers that fighting in that lead group that have unfortunately fallen back here after being involved in an early wreck. He's looking a little bit shifty up there. That number 40, Tyler Brewer, is going to kind of fall below that yellow line there for a moment. But they're going to keep things rolling out here as we approach the... We're getting close to that midway point of the race, you know. Lap almost 33 out here, but haven't seen too much third line activity. When I have seen it, it's been relatively clean, but I know these guys are skilled drivers. They can take it. They can deal with it. They know what they're doing on that third line if they choose to create it, but not really a need for it right now as these front runners are moving fast on that inside line, that outside line. Definitely less trucks, but they're still staying in it.
Yeah, and you know, it seems like some of those guys that had the damage is starting to fade off a little bit. I think, you know, Gagnon got into some. But how about Lidke? He was P3 before that wreck. He's now P8, but he's on pace still, despite getting hit a couple times. So good to see he doesn't have too much damage.
Yeah, you know, I was commenting on that just a moment ago about a lot of these drivers having to overcome those wrecks. Very unfortunate for Nico Kipoloni and who was the other one? Tarlev back there. They fall a couple laps down after that wreck. Very unfortunate. A couple of our front runners there early on.
Yeah, and we're single file all the way through now. And maybe a couple things happening about 10 cars back, but as far as everything goes right now, it looks like Dias is going to be leading the next couple laps. Brewer's in second, Craighead's in third, and Collier and James in fourth and fifth. A lot of clean racing here. A lot of single file, which you like to see. And I know that the most fun spot on that entire track is where the number 40 of Brewer is getting to push the leader. I mean, it's really just high risk, low reward when you're low risk, high reward when you're at the single file racing. Let's take a look at some of the big movers of the day. First one's going to be Dias. He's made it up into the lead from P17 start. Great on him. Another one's going to be Anthony James, I want to say, is running P5. He started P24. That's a good move from him. And running P7 is going to be Leaf. He started P28. So a few guys very fortunate from these wrecks. You know, it's the tale of two stories. A lot of guys taken out, but it also put a lot of guys that were kind of, you know, towing the line, put them right back where they need to be. We're running single file, just about all the way back. A couple guys trying to make a second line work. 3 now, but overall that inside line looking super fast. It's still about 3 on that outside line, but how about Brewer in second? He's looking good. Ooh, and they get a little stuffed up that top 3, but the 48 with a good checkup, and they're gonna be right back to what they're doing. Look, I gotta ask, are you a fan of the single file racing this early in the race?
You know, on one hand, I do like it because, you know, it keeps these guys out of wrecks, and it definitely decreases the wreckage rate here, as we still have a lot of laps to go. But at the same time, it's Talladega. Personally, I would rather see 3-wide racing the entire race, but that's just me.
Yeah, and I would like to point out we did see a lot of 3-wide racing on our Midwest race, and didn't get much sleep that night.
No, sir, we did not, but that was Daytona, I do believe, correct?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Two very different tracks in terms of size. How about it? They're going to be approaching, unfortunately, another car or truck about to go a lap down. That's going to be Josh Gagnon. We're going to have to wait to see what he does here as leaders approach him.
Yeah, and, you know, you would assume he would go high, but he's going to stay low, and they're just all going to make it around. Oh, this is going to get shaky if they don't... Okay, they are all going to get up. Ooh, and they're going to get together a little bit. The 12 and the...
Work together, guys.
The 12 and the 79 get together a little bit, but they hold it.
Yep, they're going to keep things clean here. Nope, we're going to see a truck below the yellow there.
Oh, they're shaking up a little bit back there. Trying to get that second line for them, and they're about 4 cars strong now.
Now, if they get enough trucks there, they'll definitely catch up to them. Really just a matter of getting the support there. You know, Kevin, approaching lap 41 here in this race. We're getting a good chunk of the way through here on the race. We're seeing some names up there in the front. Any big names stand out to you that, you know, maybe you're thinking we should look for late on into this race?
Yeah, and I think one of the big teams we should pay attention to a little bit is the Can-Am team. They have Collier and Lidke running P6 and 8 right now. They're giving good pushes to each other. So, definitely look for some team racing. Other than that, you know, Gibson's been running up there all race. Brewer's been up there for a good handful of laps. How about Leaf? You know, he's been able to make it 19 spots up right now. He was even higher up at one point, but as it stands, 19 from when he started. So he's making his way through the field. Just a few of those guys to look at.
Hey, you know, and one name that I've been looking for out there, and one that I'm definitely impressed with, is Nico Cipollone. He's going to be back in our lead group, actually. He's going to be in P16. But he's going to be still, you know, staying with these guys in the lead group. He's going to still be, he is our leader on our lap down cars. So assuming a caution happens, he's right back on that lead lap. And good on him for fighting his way back up to this lead group and at least staying with him so he doesn't, get any further laps down. And that second line's starting to get something going here. They're only gonna have two trucks here clear up front on that inside line.
Yeah, and Brew's going to be our leader. Craig Ed's in second, Dias in third, Sullivan fourth, and Collier in fifth. It is an exciting one. We've been green for a while now. Luke, are you excited?
I am, Kevin. As we start to approach this back half of the race, I think that third line is going to start to form here and get tested on pretty early on.
Yeah, and I've got to agree. I mean, we are single file through the first, 4 or 5, and then the rest of the way, I mean, it's that double file racing that you love to see. But they're bouncing around a little bit. Great pushes from the 48 of Craighead into the 40 of Brewer. They're making it work up front.
Yeah, they're still making things work here. Definitely don't count that outside line out. They're making things work here. They're going to start to tighten things up and hopefully get a good run here going. It's going to include Nico Cipollone.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the onboard of the 48. That's going to be Cameron Craighead, and he's been giving great pushes to the leader, knowing when to take off, knowing when to push him. Not making it too risky early on, but risky enough that it's keeping them enough speed to be P1s and 2s right now.
I personally love looking at the onboards of some of these drivers. It is pretty entertaining to see how well these guys keep things under control at almost 190 miles an hour. It is definitely not easy, to say the least.
Yeah, it's definitely more challenging than it looks. You see that wheel is always moving. You can't really keep these wheels steady, especially in these trucks. They like to bounce.
Well, and they're getting a little shaky there in that third row. But they're going to sort things out, I think. Yeah, like I said, the driver rate or the safety rating of these drivers, man, it's really on display out here tonight. They're keeping things relatively green here. We're 45 laps in. Only a handful of cautions. I feel like with the cautions we've seen anyways, they've been fairly kept under control, and it's only involved a couple drivers apart from that first one we had, but it's Talladega. Everyone knows there's got to be a big one, and these guys decided to make it happen early.
Yeah, and it helps a lot of the guys out, but really it just kills the momentum for so many people in the field. Would you rather be wrecked out on the last lap, Luke, or would you rather be wrecked out early?
Personally, I'd rather be wrecked out early. It gives you a long time to recover. There's a lot of chance for things to happen later on into the race. I'd personally like to get wrecked out early. If I'm, gun to my head, forced to be wrecked out, I'd rather it happen early.
Let me reiterate question then. Would you rather be wrecked out into a DNF early or wrecked out into a DNF and last lap?
Early, so I can, get registered for the next pickup cup.
We now have about 30 to go. Here at Talladega in the trucks. A lot of good racing so far.
That second line keeping up momentum, even though they're definitely short trucks out there. But they're still staying, They're still staying into good running. Definitely not right up there with that lead group, but they're getting there. They're fighting up close. It's going to include Cipollone as well. He's going to be pushing that that number 7 to the lead, or up there on the lead there on the outside. That's going to be Dakota Sullivan. Round and round we go at Talladega. They're going to be approaching a lap truck here before too long. That's going to be the number two of Mike Gibson. He's going to be up there with the number 56. That's going to be Tarlev in that U.S. Postal Service truck we talked about earlier on.
Yeah, great scheme. Unfortunate for him, but he's out there running again. He's only 2 laps down. Anything can still happen in this one, as we all know too well. So, you know, don't count anybody out, but not in the best of positions for him.
Oh, I think we're going to see some pits here. Yep, we're going to see a few pits here early on.
Yeah, we're going to see Gibson and Dias. It's going to be 2 of your leaders, 2 of your front runners. I think this is a little bit of a early pit strategy. They think they can make it to the end now.
Yep, have to agree with you. Yeah, they're going to keep things rolling out here, despite those couple trucks going in there for the pits. Outside line, still keeping a good running there. They're going to be blinking up there in the front, it seems, just a little bit, but again, we never know if that's an us issue or a driver issue, but one can only hope it's an us issue, but then again, we never know.
Yeah, man, look, it really is scary when you are in that cockpit and you see in front of you a car blinking and you have no idea where to go, where they're going, stuff like that, so.
Hey, no doubt.
That's all Red Bull scheme up there. 7.
Oh, I'm on the wall!
Ooh.
And yep, we're going to see crashes back there. We're going to have to go back and take a look at that one. I think we saw a couple trucks on the inside of the field there.
Is there going to be a caution?
I don't think so. And I believe it was the number 56 of Tarlev. We're going to have to go back and take a look at that. It's going to be the lap trucks. He cuts to the inside and just gets into it with the leader, I think, a little bit, but bounces off the wall, and oh, how about it from the number 3? That's going to be Dalton Carter. What a save. Look at that. He was almost completely sideways there for a moment. Gets bumped there, and he holds it together. Look at that.
Wow.
What a save by him. But then again, folks, sorry, we are still green out here. And it's going to be Dakota Sullivan holding on to the battle for first here.
Yeah, and you know that second group's still yet to pit, but never mind. I was gonna say I thought we might see a couple takers, but they are all still staying out.
Yeah, you know, we'll take a look at the current pit lap for our leaders here, and we're seeing a couple lap 27s, a couple lap 21s, and back there in 7th, we're going to see a lap 20. Definitely a little spread out here. I think later on in this race, it's going to definitely be a big factor, especially with the team driving here late on in this race.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's going to be, I don't know. I think one of the big issues with fuel and fuel saving at these super speedways is we often see a lot of like last 5 lap cautions, even green white checkers, and people start taking pits anyways. So I feel like with as chaotic as the end of these races are, it almost kind of diminishes the purpose of a fuel strategy.
Yeah, I mean, it all just depends on how these drivers, you know, it all depends on how the drivers drive, really. No better way to put it. Yeah, Yeah, we're going to have 23 to go out here at Talladega. We're approaching that back section of the race here. I think we're going to see that third line tested early here soon. They're going to be approaching a lap truck. It's going to be Chris Dyes. I believe he got into it early in one of those wrecks.
And I was talking, but my mic was on mute. So, as I was saying, Dice and Gibson are not involved in a wreck. They did that early little pit strategy, the two-car pit we saw. So, they're trying to hang on, but about to go a lap down, so not quite sure how that's going to pan out for them.
You know, one can only hope that it's going to be a safer pass than the one we previously just saw back there by... who was that back there? That was Tarlev.
Yeah, and you know, you want to go one more time tonight to the scheme conversation.
Ooh, man, it's tough to say. I'd have to take a look here for a moment.
I got mine.
Yeah. Who you got?
The number one car of Diaz. It's gonna be Chris Diaz.
Chris Diaz. Got the old Busch Light.
The old Chastain / Harvick scheme. Busch Light on the truck. That looks good.
Not a bad one. They're going to be 3 wide here as the leaders pass them on the inside. And yep, here comes the pits. There they go. You'll see 4 of them there.
Yeah, and Tim Collier is going to get in there first, but we're going to have to pay attention and see who gets out of there first. As him and Leakey are sticking together.
Yeah, they are, but Tim Collier, he is making his run. Taking the lead on that inside line.
Oh, I apologize. They're out still.
Oh, and how about the lap truck sliding in front of the leader there?
All right,
Interesting
so
decision by the number 1.
We're going to see like 3 different pit strategies here. The early one, that was like 2 cars we saw. The one we're seeing right now, which is maybe 3 or 4. And then the rest of the front pack is going to probably come in next time, I'd assumed. I know they're getting somewhat close on fuel. Definitely cannot make it to the end.
And an interesting decision here by the number 1 of Chris Diaz here, sticking in front of the leader.
He's trying to stay in that lead lap, you know. He doesn't want to go a lap down. And
fair to him. Can't say I blame him. But I believe they're going to... I mean...
Here comes that outside line soaring by.
But you got to remember, that 27, that's going to be Will Gibson. He's also a lap down, so... That outside line is mostly a lap down, apart from that number 7, Dakota Sullivan, in the very back.
Yeah, that's a good point, but Marky Bellini, he's back on the lead lap.
And he was involved in a couple there early on. He's going to be right up there in that front group. He's going to be the number 77 pushing there. He's going to be pushing the number 27.
And, you know, we go, you know, round and round, and it's exciting to see when are these guys going to come in for their pit. It's got to happen eventually.
Yeah, and speak of the pits, look up there at the top right of the screen. There is trucks all over the field out here. Everyone's taking different pit strategies. Everyone's coming into the pits. Everyone's coming out of the pits at different times. There's going to be a lot of traffic here shortly. I know it's going to make things very interesting as we approach the final stages of the race here. It's going to be we're going to be 17 to go here as we get ready to cross the start finish. A little shaky there for the number 77. But they're going to hold things together there on that outside line. How about your current battle for first? There is only 5 trucks up there on the lead, in that lead circle right now. That's going to be it's going to be Tim Collier, it's going to be Anthony James, Dakota Sullivan, Drew Lidke, and Mark Person. They're all going to be in that top 5 right now, currently in contention for first.
Yeah, and they all pit on that lap 27, so they're all probably in cahoots in conversation, just talking through, what the strategy is, when are we coming in, what are we doing, stuff like that. They're not just driving out there, they're still racing out there. They're too wide up there.
Oh, and things are going to get a little loose there.
With the pass for Collier there, that's going to put both Gibson and Dias, or side by side for Dias being a lap down, but Gibson is going to go a lap down. But they are working it back. They're drafting each other up there.
And there's the pit for Dakota Sullivan. He's going to go into the pits. He's going to be the first one to go in that lead 5.
He's had enough.
But there's still going to be 4 out there in that lead that still haven't taken their pit yet. Interesting to see what they're going to do here as we approach the 15 lap to go mark. Like I said, trucks all over the field, but it seems as though they're starting to kind of get wrapped back up here as the pit strategies are coming into effect here. You know, you gotta wonder, are we gonna see a green finish here potentially? I know the last couple broadcasts we've had have ended in a few eventful finishes that we haven't been able to call all that well. It would be very nice to see either a green finish here or an official result right away.
Yeah, and I'm hoping for excitement, but I'm also hoping for a clean finish, getting to the checkered line, nothing under caution.
Oh, and they're going to be 3 wide up there near the lead, but that's going to be a lap car on that 3rd line. Things are getting testy here at 15 to go at Talladega. Let's go and take a look at the number 5. Oh, wait, and there comes the pits, actually. Let's take a look at the pits first. Pay attention here, everybody. Here comes the lead group here, and that battle for first is going to change now as your leaders come into the pits.
Yeah, it seemed Collier might have came in a little bit fast and gotten into the grass a bit, but I think all in all, a clean entrance for that crew. As they're taking their pits, we're going to see how this cycles through. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, pay attention up there. The number 40 currently rounding the track. He's going to be the current leader out there on the track apart from the guys in the pits. And it's going to be a race between the guys leaving the pits and him. And he's got support. They're going to be moving fast. But those guys leaving the pits, it's going to be led by Tim Collier. They're still moving up there, but those trucks are going to pass them fast. You can hear them coming up behind them. And yep, here they come. It's going to be a race off a pit road for Tim Collier. Can he stay in this lead and can he get his speed up? But man, they are going to fly past him. Tyler Brewer, they are making a run on that outside line.
Yeah, and he's not even going to be able to get into the draft on that one. Unfortunate, but
it's like he's got some support behind him, maybe going to line up.
He's got Lidke, his team. He's got Person they've been running with. So it's going to be 3 cars on 3 cars. And with this pack having fresher cars, I would definitely not put them out of this one.
Oh, no doubt here, but 13 to go here as we cross start-finish again. It's been a long race so far, Kevin, but things seem to have shaped up here in the back half of this race. Guys have kept things pretty clean, but I think things are going to get a little shakier here as we enter the 10 to go mark out here, at least at Talladega. Things get crazy, and things get crazy fast out here.
Yeah, I've got to agree. Anything can happen. We saw a completely clean race last night. And then the last 5 laps, we saw 3 cautions.
And it just goes to show that anything can happen out here. They're going to approach another lap truck here. That's going to be I believe the number 79 of Josh Gagnon. Yep, I would be correct there. He's going to...
Yeah, these leaders, the second pack is now caught back up to speed. That's not a question. But the leaders are still putting some distance between the 2 packs. which is surprising because it's 3-3. The second pack has fresher cars, fresher tires, and maybe just not running tight enough.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why doing some side by siding. Maybe they're just switching it up, putting Lidkey at the
shuffling
back.
around maybe a little bit. I know that's a big team group there, but that's your current second group right now. They're trailing off from your leaders right there, and that's going to be your front running three, and that is going to be 2 lap trucks in between them there. And again, another group not to count out. That's going to be the third group. It's going to be Chris Diaz there. That's going to be the battle for 7th. And look at that group there. That's a big group of trucks there. If maybe they get things together a little more there, they're gonna really start trucking through. And God forbid another caution out here, and that's going to be a group to to be beckoned with. There's a lot of mix of pit strategies in that group. We jump back to your leaders up here with 11 to go at Talladega. And, you know, a lot of laps have been driven out here, Kevin. I know the conversation came up earlier about the paint schemes, and one that I'm currently looking at out here is going to be the number 6 of Spencer Leaf back there. He's going to have the Pepto-Bismol truck there running P3 right now. Always a funny one. Always nice if you're ever sick.
Yeah, very reliable medication.
That it is.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
Pepto-Bismol, please sponsor.
Pepto-Bismol, we will do anything.
Just a note to our viewers, we do not sell out to promotions.
Yes, we do. We just haven't
Again, Pepto-Bismol. We will do anything. Again, Pepto-Bismol. We will do anything.
Yeah, but how about Collier, Person, and Lidkey? Whatever they did. Actually, what they did was get rid of Lidkey. Seems Lidkey's fallen back to 7 seconds, and Collier and Person have made up a second and a half since we last took a look at it. They're now only a second and a half back off the lead.
Yeah, they're getting things done out here. They're just trying to catch up to those lead 3 trucks, make things happen. But it seems like those lead 3 trucks are going to approach a couple lap trucks there. It's going to be the number 2 of Mike Gibson. And they're going to file in right behind them.
The leaders. I was just going to give the leaders a little bit more speed in that draft. But
at the same time, it's also going to give those guys behind them an extra couple trucks to work with to be able to catch up to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, with the mix of lap trucks here, it definitely makes things interesting as we approach 8 to go here at Talladega.
Yeah, maybe we could. I mean, we don't have to go back. We could, though, if you deem it necessary. I just am very curious as to what happened to Lidkey and how he has fallen off so much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
He was running in the second group with Person and Collier, then just
kind of faded off. Yeah, I don't know.
He lost it.
Maybe take a look back at that one later on to see what happened, but tough to say. Maybe just slipped out of the draft a little bit and just wasn't able to catch back on. Knew the guy knew that there was a guy behind him and just let his 2 buddies take the run up and get things going. But I'm assuming he's going to probably catch on here in just a moment and catch back up to these guys. He's not far off.
Well, he's 14 seconds back now. Look, and he is fading.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about Persons. Yeah, that is Lidkey. Let me take a look here and see if we're getting any reading here. Maybe we'll just go back and take a look here and see if anything. We still got a couple laps left. Let's go ahead and take a look here and see what kept him off of those lead trucks. Yeah, he's ran a couple laps out there by himself, it seems.
Yeah, he was running well with. I think he just had too much damage. We saw they had him drop to the back, and we thought it was just a little bit of strategy. I think he was holding them up.
Maybe he was just clearing out of their way so they could get free and keep moving, but yeah, we can see
they don't want to do that. He's a teammate of theirs, but
at the same time, if he's slowing you up, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can actually kind of see there. I think his truck's kind of rolling a little bit there going into some of those turns. Maybe a sign of damage there, but Tough to say, and yeah, he slides to the outside, and it is tough to say. I think I'm seeing a little bit of damage there, and like look right in front of his rear left tire. You can kind of see a little bit of damage there, I think, in that quarter panel. And you know, with these trucks moving as fast as they are, just that little bit of damage can really affect the aero on these guys. But enough about the past. Let's go and hop back to the present here as Drew Lidke, unfortunately, approaching 21 seconds back in 6th place. But our leaders out here, it's going to be Tyler Brewer still leading us off here.
Yeah, and they've caught, though.
Yeah, they're back up there.
Collier, they've caught him.
The battle for first. It's going to be 5 trucks out here for the battle for first. Tyler Brewer, Cameron Craighead, Spencer Leaf, Mark Person, and Tim Collier.
Collier.
Apologies. Still getting used to the name pronunciations. I'm just receiving word here. Tanner Coaster just went off the track back there a little bit. We'll take a look at what happened back there. That second line, I believe. Yep. Oof. It looks like maybe a bad bump there. He's going to take the inside line and... Oh! He keeps it under control, but that could have been bad. Yeah, kept things under control, though. You like to see it, but we're going to jump back to our leaders here for the battle for first as we are approaching 4 to go here at Talladega. Your front 5 still running strong. Tyler Brewer staying out in front. It's going to be a matter of if he can defend this one. He's kept it strong up here in the front for a while, you know. I think at this point he's just looking to keep things running how he's been running them and try to bring this one home.
Yeah, and you know, look, I'd like to point out, I know this is going to make you happy. 3 of your front 4 are Fords right now.
Yeah, you know, we'll go ahead and actually swap on over to the car logos. We'll, yeah, look at that. 3 Fords up there in that top 5, 2 Chevys. Personally, you know, I got my money on the Fords out here, but I know Kevin always begs to differ, but it is what it is. It's either way, it's still anybody's race out here. I don't think it's gonna you know, play too much of a factor here with as many lap trucks they have back there to support the pushes. I think it's really just gonna come down to who can run that second or third line better.
Yeah, and you know, we're 3 to go. They're still single file, kind of surprising. They're gonna branch out here soon, though. There's about 7 cars up in that lead pack. About 5 of them are actually in the lead pack. 2 of them are lap cars, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who goes to what line and what line starts working. We haven't seen much. We haven't seen much work on the outside lines with this few cars. Usually, when it's working, we see, you know, a group of 20 cars. But it's going to be interesting. As
and we have a yellow out. Wait a minute. There's a yellow.
Oh, and that's really going to mix things up. That's going to get that second group right
boy. And I'm not too sure what's going on. Oh, wait a minute. We're receiving word. Yep, there's a crash. Dalton and Carter. And oh, boy. Yeah, we're seeing a big one out here. And, geez, some trucks sideways, trucks upside down. Let's go back a little bit and take a look at what happened there that caused that one. We'll go ahead and maybe take a look at the blimp view here. And they're 3 wide here as they approach that lap truck. And things get shaky, gets a little tight. The 31 gets turned sideways. And, oh, man, he goes for a ride. And, oh, it is not over. Man, that's going to collect a lot of trucks.
That is really going to mix some things up. I know some cars that are towards the back now are going to be towards the front.
And, man, that is going to shake things up.
That second pack was like cars like 5 or 6 to 11, so... With them getting taken out, who knows who's going to take those spots?
And Ronan Suarez going for a ride. I want to hop in the onboard there, that one.
He got, like, I don't know, dragged onto his top. I mean, it wasn't like a very aesthetically pleasing flip like we're used to here when they take air. It was like he just flipped straight onto his top.
And yeah, space just gets tight. Yeah, I mean, he didn't even see what happened there. Just completely up and on his side, and oof.
Definitely a fun ride for him.
I mean, overall, throughout the spin, I think the spin for most of these drivers, it really doesn't lead to the most amount of damage, I want to say. I mean, just looking at him driving away, his truck almost looks perfectly fine. I think some of those other trucks that got involved either running into him or, after that bump that was caused after him flipping, running into the wall and stuff. I know the number 3 was involved there. That's going to be Dalton Carter. Let's see what happens there. He's going to be a lap down, just trying to stay out of it. And, oh, no. Just very unfortunate for him. Just trying to stay out of the way and gets caught up in it. Very unfortunate for him.
Also just unfortunate for, that lead group, because they had 20 seconds on the guys, and, now all that hard work and getting out in front of them just for nothing, because they are right back in it.
Yeah,
due to some 3-wide racing, 20 seconds back.
Man, that makes things interesting here, Kevin. And wait a minute, we're just receiving word here again. Dalton Sullivan, a crash here as well. Maybe leaving pit road. Go back here just a little bit. Maybe some difficulties leaving pit road here. And oh,
I think he's about called it quits on this race.
A very unfortunate.
Let's take a look at what placement he's in.
He is going to be in P15 at the moment. Yeah, he's going to go. He's going to like to take the tow there. I think he might be packing it up for the night. An unfortunate turn of events for Dakota Sullivan.
And not the first time we've seen that happen either.
And yeah, he is going to be. He's going to be out of here. I think he's done. Unfortunate, but that's racing for you.
That it is.
That is going to take us to a green-white checkered out here at Talladega. I believe that is that going to technically count as our first? Yep, that is going to technically count as our first green-white checkered out here of the night. So just a reminder to everybody, we will see a possibility of 2 more green-white checkers. If there is another one after that, if the caution is thrown, it is, of course, the driver in the lead at the time of the caution being thrown. But then again, you never know. I know we do have a guy currently manning the yellows, so he might let him drive out a little longer here. It's tough to say, but again, the green-white checkers, I know I'm always pretty excited to see these green-white checkers. It always makes things interesting. And like you were saying, definitely shaking things up here for that second pack. Getting them to have a nice chance up here in that front pack now.
Yeah, and it's going to mix things up a lot. A lot of the guys that we haven't even been talking about much up there in the top 10. Coaster, not quite sure even where he came from. He started P6, but we haven't talked about him much since. He's right back in this thing. How about James? I want to say that is Anthony James. Number 16 car, he started P24. We haven't been talking about him much. He's right back in this thing.
And you know what? One that was completely upside down there, the number 31 of Ronan Suarez. I believe, yeah, he's going to be able to catch up here to those lead trucks. He was completely upside down there for a moment, but he's going to be able to get back up to those lead trucks and make things happen. So even despite getting involved in that yellow earlier, he's going to still be able to have a shot here going into the restart.
Yeah, and thanks for stopping by, RGL. It's been an exciting one. A lot of incidents, but we're glad to have you for the final laps of this one, and hopefully these guys will put on a show for us.
Yeah, it's been an exciting one thus far, Kevin. I know I'm excited for the end of this race here.
As am I, as we are going to go green. This time by, it's going to be the command of Brewer. Craighead's going to be alongside him, and then second row is going to be Leaf and Person. Pace car is coming around, last time coming in, dipped below the line. It's going to be our late restart at Talladega, but we are going to be green on the command of the 40 car of Brewer, this time by with 2 to go. To the line. Here we go. And they...
Delayed.
I mean, I said it was a late
restart. It was a delayed restart, really getting you.
And Brewer's out in the lead. He's a single file right in front of himself. Maybe some blinking, though.
Oh boy.
And we are looking at an engine. Let's go back to our TV views for the remainder of this one. And
Yeah.
the 48's giving good pushes to Brewer as he's done all night. And they drop single file. That's going to be Person falling in line in third. Leaf to follow in the Pepto car. Collier in fifth. And we're single file on the backstretch for the second to last time, hopefully, in this one. But, here comes the line.
And there's that second line.
Leaf's going to spread out first. He's going to try to make something happen on that top. Not too much help, though.
And are we going to see the white flag?
Yeah. And they are staying clean, but how about a Person coming to the top? And Brewer and Craighead staying down low. It's going to be side-by-side racing with Collier back in the fifth spot in the silver car. He's going to stay on the inside line. This outside line getting more help with Coaster. We're 3x3. The white flag is out. We're 1 to go here at Talladega. The inside is held by Brewer. That's going to be the 40 of Brewer. The third line opens up. That's going to be Coaster. And it's going to be 3 wide. The second line is led by the 77. Or the 11, I apologize. And the inside still being run by Brewer and Craighead. They've run together all night. But how about Person making the outside work? He's being pushed by Leaf. We're side by side on the backstretch for the last time. 40 car still in the lead. The inside line making it work. They're pushed by the 48 and the 11, but the 77 and the 6, that's going to be Person and Leaf. They're trying to make something happen.
Oh, what's going on that outside line?
They're net coding a bit, and the 40 is going to get a lot of speed. Now the moves to be made.
Oh, there it is!
48. 48's going to go to the outside. Remember, we got a late...
Oh, and the one's in the
wall!
wall!
Late checkered, but how about Brewer? He is going to take it as the C's part behind him. It's going to be a win for him. A second place for Craighead. And a third place for Coaster.
Tyler Brewer getting it done at Talladega.
Yeah, and he stuck with the 48 car of Craighead all the way through. They were running together for this entire back half of this race. It was a great race for them. And Tyler Brewer able to take home the checkered flag here. Let's take a look at the unofficial results.
Yeah, of course, as we take a look at your final results there, it's going to be Tyler Brewer, followed by Cameron Craighead, Tanner Coaster, Spencer Leaf, Brian Fulker, and that is only going to be your top 5 with many more to follow. Tyler Brewer getting it done out here at Talladega Superspeedway. I believe it's time for the victory shitties in front of the checkered. And yep, there it is. Tyler Brewer, your race winner.
Yeah, and that was a real exciting one, Luke. I mean, Tyler Brewer just dominated this one through and through. A lot of good drivers, just unfortunate throughout it, but in the end, when it mattered, Tyler Brewer comes out on top. We're going to try to get a couple of post-race interviews in here. Anybody would be down.
Yeah, how about it? Tyler Brewer getting the win out here at the Nexus Designs Western Racing Racing League Truck Series. Very big moment for him. Great for the point standings. I'm assuming we'll have to get the obviously the point values cleared up here. I'm very intrigued to see how many points he benefited off of that one.
Yeah, let's take a look at the official results of that one. Get our top 10 out to you guys. And that's going to be Tyler Brewer with the win. Cameron Craighead, Tanner Coster, Spencer Leaf, Brian Fackler, Andrew Griesbaum, Anthony James, Diaz, Person, and Lidkey. That's going to be your top 10 tonight. Let's get I'm going to see if we can dial up Tanner Coster, your P3 finisher. He had a great run on that restart. Hey, Tanner, guys in the booth, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple questions for you, because that was a great finish to a great race for you. You got into the podium there, and how did you make that work there in those last couple laps, getting up from, I think it was the P8 restart?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was the majority of the race, I was kind of just hanging out there. I knew that it was going to be a matter of staying alive and not having a wreck truck at the end, and then we had that incident there on the backstretch where I lifted thinking they were going to wreck, and I lost the draft. And then later in that run there, had kind of packed back up a second pack, and I got booted out of there too, and I was just hoping for a late yellow, and I got it, and it's kind of just take whatever run I could get. And had a run, thought I was getting pushed, got hung out there again, and then just from the backstretch to the checkered on the last lap, held it wide open and took wherever the momentum was going, and a couple of lucky moves, and came out third, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, a great race for you, a great run at the end. I couldn't help but notice your paint scheme on the truck. Were you, pretty happy with the way the 500 turned out this year?
Yeah, I wasn't too upset to see that.
All right, well, thanks again, Tanner. And anybody you'd like to shout out before we get rid of you?
I guess just the guys putting the league on. It's always fun to have a place to race, so
All right, I appreciate you and congratulations, Tanner.
thanks.
That was your third place finisher, Tanner Coster, in the 97 car. Next up, I want to try to dial up. Let's see. Let's get Craighead in here. Cameron Craighead. I think he finished. What was it? Second.
Yep, he's going to be your race runner-up.
Race runner up. Yeah, let's get him in here first before we get our race leader. I'm trying to get him in here. There we go. Hey, Cameron, guys in the booth, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hey, this is the guys with the broadcast team. We got a couple questions for you, if that's all right.
Yes. It's
I mean, that was a great race. You and Brewer ran it, on each other's bumper through the back half of it, and then a little unfortunate that second pack caused the caution, and you guys were able to hang on to the positions that you had despite the group coming back together and running a green-white checker. How did you make that happen? How did you get the second place finish?
Well, I started on the outside, so just getting a good restart, making sure I got a hole to get to the bottom, and then I just tried to be a good pusher, keep the outside lanes from coming down in front of us, and then, well, at the end I tried to go up, but I got distracted by the eye line, some car face, and it kind of distracted me, so I forgot my game point. So.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a great finish for you regardless. You got the second place finish. So congratulations on that,
Thank you.
Anybody you'd like to shout out before we get rid of you?
Nah.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, Cameron, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for the broadcast.
Yep, thanks. And now, Luke, I'm going to get to our favorite interviewer of the night, at least mine. Got a lot to talk about with your race winner, Tyler Brewer, before we close out tonight, and I'm excited. Great race for him.
Oh, yeah,
got a little
doubt.
scary there. Got a little scary there at the end, but he pulled through.
Yeah, it definitely was a scary end there, but kudos to him for keeping it together and holding on to it with that hectic end there. Very excited to hear it from his point of view.
Hey, Tyler, guys in the booth, can you hear me?
Yeah, you bet, man.
Man, how about that finish? You and Cameron were running the second half of that race. It seemed like just staying out in the lead after the last pit cycle, and then the late caution came, and it kind of seemed like things would get mixed up. But you and the 48 were able to hang on to it, and you were able to take the checker. You want to talk me through how that one happened?
Yeah, no, it was. I can't say enough and thank him enough for the pushing through the second half of that race. It worked out pretty much as well as I could make it go, honestly. Been a while since I won a race in a league, and the joke is I had to make my own league to win a race, but it was fun. It's super fun to get everyone out there. A good group of guys. It's good. Seems to be a good group of guys, and really excited to keep it going.
Yeah, and it was an exciting race for both of us to watch. I couldn't help but notice you're from Canada. I gotta ask, were you paying attention to the hockey game that was on today?
Oh man, I had it on my phone, like sitting on my rig, and I on the pace laps, I was like looking down at it, and I damn near swerved into someone. I'm like, okay, I got to put that away, or else I'm gonna wreck somebody. And it was still playing as you're racing, and I looked down last second, and I had seen that someone scored. I'm like, I don't even know who scored, and I don't want to look right now, but I know somebody scored.
Well, either way, Team Canada brought it home for you. I know you're probably pretty excited. We were, reluctantly watching it a little bit here in the broadcast booth. Had to see the end of that one. It was definitely an exciting one there.
Oh yeah,
but still,
exciting.
two very big wins for you tonight here, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And once again, congratulations, Tyler, on getting the checkered flag tonight here at Talladega. Anybody you'd like to shout out before we get ready?
Just all the guys that showed up tonight. It's a lot on the back end to put these things together, and it's super rewarding and nice to see everyone show up and take part.
All right, I appreciate it, Tyler, and once again, congratulations.
Thanks, guys. Awesome broadcast, and hope to have you back soon.
Yeah, we're excited.
Love it. Thanks. That was Tyler Brewer, your race winner. I mean, just a perfect night for him, Luke. He got his team to win, and then he got the win in the race. So not much more you can ask for there. But yeah, any final thoughts? That was a super exciting one here at Talladega in the trucks.
Even though despite these things not being the next gens, they do not disappoint. A very, very exciting race out here at Talladega. I know I had a good one. Always a great one to see. I'm always a fan of these big super speedways. Always a blast. And I know I always enjoy coming out here. And I'm not too sure, but I know we have a couple more races lined up this weekend, Kevin. I know you probably have the details of that one.
Yeah, let me pull up the calendar real quick. Tomorrow night, it's gonna be Friday night at midnight. Actually, we're gonna go with the Dash for Cash series. That's gonna be SSK series, and that's gonna be a fun one. I'm pretty positive that's gonna be Talladega as well, maybe trucks. Don't quote me on that though. But then we're gonna have Saturday off. And then Sunday we'll be back in full effect with CMS Racing Series, and they're gonna be at Atlanta. So that's gonna be a super fun one to watch. The
very
trucks at
exciting,
Atlanta.
very exciting. I'm a big Atlanta fan myself personally, Kevin.
Yeah, I am too. It just seems to be getting more and more exciting every year. But it's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a fun weekend and hopefully see some more exciting racing like the racing we saw tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm definitely looking forward to a very, very exciting weekend over here at Ninth Gear Broadcasting. I want to thank all you viewers for coming out here tonight. It's been an exciting one, and more exciting races to come later on this weekend, and we're hoping to see you all there. This has been Ninth Gear Broadcasting. Guys in the booth, Luke and Kevin.